We begin in Minneapolis, where this evening fires have broken out and tear gas is being used on protesters who have taken to the streets for the third night in the name of George Floyd. Like yesterday and Tuesday, the protests began peacefully before clashes between police and demonstrators broke out. And this was the scene in Columbus a few hours ago, where protesters were toe-to-toe with police wearing riot gear. Demonstrations, in fact, took place across the country today. Tonight in Minneapolis, many questions remain, including, will the officers involved in Floyd's death face criminal charges? Our Manny Abraham has the latest.
With protests escalating, a plea for calm as a city searches for answers in the death of George Floyd, who died in police custody.
Peaceful protests are always acceptable. That is the cornerstone of our justice system. But the obstruction and the destruction of property and harm to individuals has got to stop.
Minnesota's governor has declared a state of emergency, activating the National Guard. The FBI and U.S. attorney briefing the community on the investigation and shedding light into why charges haven't been filed.
A police officer, a law enforcement officer, has, within the latitude of their scope of duty, the ability to use the right amount of force, but not excessive force. Not excessive force as defined by the law. And so that is what we're looking at with respect to any federal criminal violation of civil rights.
Family and friends of George Floyd are speaking out, honoring his memory and calling for justice.
I would like for those officers to be charged with murder, because that's exactly what they did.
Floyd's cousins telling TMX.News that they were devastated, and while they say they agree with the firing of the officers, it's not enough.
Unbelievable to see someone suffer in the way that he did, and to have so many people around asking for them to basically allow him to live.
Former NBA player Steven Jackson was Floyd's friend, calling him his twin.
People tell me not to get angry, and it's hard not to get angry. It's hard not to get angry, because I get the same anger when it happens to somebody that I don't know.
Tonight, leaders are calling for peaceful protests as the investigation continues. The U.S. Attorney for the District of Minnesota says the Department of Justice is making the investigation into George Floyd's death a top priority. I'm Manny Abraham, 3 News.